You track every meal, weigh your portions, and endure the gnawing hunger, pulling that belt one notch tighter. And yet, the scale refuses to budge. That frustration usually stems from one massive biological misunderstanding: the idea that a calorie is exactly identical to any other calorie once it enters your body. To see why that logic fails, look at this vintage bottle of Coca-Cola. We all recognize it as liquid sugar, guaranteed to derail weight loss. So we swap it for a glass of 100% organic orange juice, assuming we've made the healthier choice. But as this chart illustrates, the liquid inside both of those drinks has the exact same sugar concentration. They both peak at exactly 11%. If the math on the nutrition label is identical, the difference in how they affect your waistline doesn't come from the numbers. It comes entirely from the physical structure of the food itself. This brings us to a metabolic reality known as caloric availability. This is a vast gap between the theoretical calories printed on the side of a box and the actual energy your digestive system manages to extract. Surviving a diet doesn't mean starving your stomach of physical volume. It means forcing your biology to labor intensely for every single calorie you ingest. When you drink orange juice, the liquid hits your stomach with zero resistance. The pulp and plant cell walls have been entirely stripped away. Look at this steep trajectory on the graph. Without fiber to slow things down, that unobstructed liquid floods your bloodstream almost instantly, forcing your body to panic and pump out a massive surge of insulin. This massive insulin release immediately shuts down your body's ability to burn stored fat. Then, as the line plunges into the steep valley, your blood sugar crashes, sending severe artificial starvation signals to your brain roughly an hour later. Now, we send the exact same amount of sugar down your digestive tract, but this time it is packaged inside a whole, unpeeled orange. The physical pulp and intact plant cell walls arrive in your stomach and form a dense physical web, a fiber net that traps those natural sugars. Because of this protective net, the sugar can only drip slowly and steadily into your bloodstream over the course of several hours, and completely bypassing that frantic insulin crash. Meanwhile, the sheer physical bulk and high water volume of that whole fruit press outward against the lining of your stomach, thereby activating specialized sensors called stretch receptors. Hitting those stretch receptors is the biological trigger required to tell your brain you are full. You end up feeling completely stuffed while effectively absorbing far fewer net calories. Curious, this antique calorimeter demonstrates a principle we call the thermic effect of food. Your body functions like an internal combustion engine, meaning it actually has to spend its own calories to digest and absorb new ones. We can see how external heat changes a food's caloric availability by comparing a raw stalk of celery to a cooked one. If you eat that celery raw, it yields roughly 6 net calories. Your digestive system has to expend immense energy physically grinding down its tough fiber structure. But if you chop that exact same celery stalk and drop it into a hot stew, the heat of the stove essentially pre-digests the plant fibers for you. By doing the work outside the body, that identical piece of celery now yields 30 calories. Applying this thermodynamic rule to macronutrients reveals that protein is chemically and physically the most difficult material for your body to process. This pie chart breaks down a single protein calorie. A full 30% of that energy is burned exclusively during the labor-intensive process of digesting it. You only absorb the remaining 70%. This explains exactly why ultra-processed foods drive obesity so aggressively. The factory machines have already paid the energy tax, stripping away the fiber and breaking down the complex molecules, leaving your body to effortlessly absorb 100% of the caloric profit. Your brain is an ancient, highly evolved survival machine. The moment it detects weight loss, it actively fights back, lowering your basal metabolic rate and ramping up your hunger to protect its stored energy. You cannot break the laws of physics. Operating in a calorie deficit is absolutely non-negotiable if you want to burn fat, but you do have complete control over how you create that deficit. Attempting to cut calories by eating small portions of liquid sugars and highly processed meals is a guaranteed losing strategy. You bypass your stretch receptors entirely, leaving your stomach empty and your blood sugar highly volatile. The winning strategy is to curate your environment. When you stock your kitchen with whole, raw, protein-heavy foods like the ones in this refrigerator, you recruit your biology to do the heavy lifting instead of fighting against it. You can control the 3 biological levers of fat loss: trigger your stretch receptors with high water volume, stabilize your blood sugar with thick fiber nets, and force a heavy digestive tax by prioritizing protein. Stop drinking your calories. Let the physical structure of real food do the hard thermodynamic work for you. And if you want to keep hacking the science of your own body, hit subscribe.